Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. If you're with me live, just making sure my sound looks good. If you're with me live, thank you so much for joining. And if you're catching the replay, I hope you have a blast as well. So maybe you stumbled upon this live not really knowing what is going on, but this is Get Crackin' on Christmas. I don't know why I did the hands this time. That was awkward. It's awkward enough that I dance when I say Get Crackin' on Christmas, but whatever. So this is a series that I host every month all year long. I want to be motivated to get my holiday cards done, and come fall, it's just too busy, too hectic. I get stressed, and then I do not enjoy the process. And as much as I love to send cards to my friends and family, I also want to enjoy the process. So I host this series. I always share my project on the third Thursday of the month. And on that day, I also will share with you which day and time I will go live, because that fluctuates a little bit. Although they've kind of been the very next Tuesday for a while now, but I don't like to commit because life happens, right? Um, so when you are joining me live, I see some of us might be working, but if you're joining me live, you can plan to work on your holiday cards at the same time. It is not meant to be, this is not a class per se where you need to make exactly what I'm making. You need to have the supplies that I have. I do hope that maybe you'll learn some things and be inspired, but I want you to play with your own stash, whatever it is you have. And you guys can share your Get Crackin' on Christmas cards all month long. I get messages all the time. Oh, I forgot to post on the third Thursday. You guys don't have to post on the third Thursday. You can post whenever you would like. Tag me. I love to see what you're creating, and I'm going to cheer you along to get those holiday cards done. The other reason why I really love this series is I personally don't like to make multiples of the same card. So by doing a few all year long, every month, I can really experiment and play and try things out. And it gives me a good reason to keep buying all those cute holiday stamps and dies. I mean, we all know if a snowflake or a snow person stamp or die comes out, I'm going to buy it. So I rather make a variety of cards so I can kind of justify those purchases. So hello, hello. Yay. Love it, and I love the dance. Yeah, I don't know why I've started to sing it. It just started happening, and I think I saw Libby's here. I think Libby was the first one that picked up on it, that I love your little shimmy when you say Get Crackin' on Christmas, and now it's just stuck. Hello, we've got from Switzerland, we've got Kentucky. Like I said, we have some people working. That's okay. Um, Awesome. Oh, good. When I come to Minnesota, we should have good weather. Good. Yeah. So I'm heading to Minnesota on Thursday. I still need to pack. I am traveling to teach at Firefly Farm, which I'm super excited about. Yay. I love this series. Such a great idea. Thank you, Diana. And yay, Brienne. Finished packing orders. Ooh, is my order finished? I just reordered ink stands from Brienne for my online shop. Awesome, awesome. Danielle's been a good girl and made some Christmas cards lately. Yay, yay, yay. And hello, Jane from the Dallas area. Hello. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen. In the description of this video is a link to the full blog post about this project, better photos so you can really see it up close. There's also a link to the visual supply list. And then also there's a link to my crafty gear in the description of this video, because I get that question a lot. I will tell you, I have a lot. I think like 18 boxes of crafty gear to pick up when I get home from Minnesota. Um, all the pre-orders that you guys ordered is being picked up, and then I obviously restocked, looking at your stock notifications, plus my 2 new designs. I wanted to make sure I had that in stock as well. So stay tuned if you're interested in crafty gear. Make sure you, if I'm out, I have a lot in stock right now, but if I'm out of stock of what you want, make sure you sign up for stock notification, because that helps me know what to order, because I just make cards for a living. The crafty gear thing has just kind of blossomed on its own, which I love, but I have no idea what sizes, styles, colors I should be ordering. So I need your help. Okay, let's go ahead and flip the camera. So, and I have my coffee here. I had a couple appointments this morning and I did not have time for coffee. So, Chris quickly made a coffee for me. So, I'll be enjoying that as we're creating today. But this is the card that I created for this month. And for whatever reason, I got it in my head that I wanted to create my own, like, textured snowflake border. I don't know. It just kind of came to me and I went with it. And so what I used is Lawn Fawn has stitched snowflakes and small stitched snowflakes. So that's all these individual snowflakes that you see on this magnetic board. And so I used a combination from both sets. These are older die sets from Lawn Fawn, but snowflakes, I warned you earlier, so I love them and I use them a lot. And so I die cut a couple out of the Pixie Dust Sparkle cardstock and then some out of ink blending. We'll get into that. And then the other thing, if you're new around here, I love non-traditional holiday colors for my holiday cards. And so I did a little merman and a little bit of plastic flamingo, which is a really, really hot, vibrant pink, different than Lawn Fawn's bubblegum. So, and we're using Olos today. So we'll see how this goes, because I'm still getting used to Olos and I still love my Copic markers, but I want to incorporate a little bit of Olo coloring as well. So let me go ahead and and the other thing I just wanted to share with you guys, I forgot to photograph this. So only those of you joining me on YouTube will know this part, but on the inside, look at me utilizing, putting it on a card base, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about this sentiment, but then I carried on some of the snowflakes into the inside, which I really, really love. And I am going to confess, I finally found a source to carry scored note cards in my online shop. So there's really no more excuses on me not getting my cards onto card bases, but I'll probably still fail at that once in a while. Okay, so I made myself a little kit, and let's go ahead and start coloring first. So I decided, when I was thinking about that kind of snowflake border, there's obviously a lot of really fun winter critters that Lawn Fawn has. But one of my most favorite sets from Lawn Fawn is this penguin party set. It's been around a long time and I love it. I just love the little igloo. I love this little sign. I mean, you can kind of tell which images I love the most because they show up more inked and loved. And then I remembered we came out with the Here We Go a Waddling. So I was like, oh, I can use maybe some of the penguins from this set as well. So that's what I did. And so I stamped everything and die cut it ahead of time. I use the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, which is pretty much the only black ink pad I use. It works for alcohol-based markers, and it also works for watercoloring. So it's just easy for me to kind of just use the same ink pad. And I didn't put things on low tack tape to hold on to them better. You know what? I actually think I will just put the little images, only because I am going to use my OLO markers, which have a larger brush tip than I'm used to. So since I'm live, I don't need to set myself up for failure. So this is Best Ever Craft Tape from Spellbinders. It's a low tack tape that I use to hold my dies in place. And what I love about it, and do I have a ton of washi tape? Yes, I do. But I find washi tape, you can kind of only use it once and then it doesn't really want to be used anymore. And what's nice about this tape is I can use it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I just love that about it. So what I like to do when I'm coloring, if I do have to pre-die cut things, I will put it on this low tack tape so I have a little bit more real estate to hold on to, especially when I'm coloring these really, really small images. Thank you, Miss Brienne, for linking all of the things. I feel so lucky that she spends the time to come in here and help me out with that. Libby says I should take a break and go make a penguin card. Oh my gosh, do it, Libby. Do it. Nanette says, I love penguins, snowflakes, and snowmen. So many in my stash, and I keep purchasing. See? But if you make holiday cards all year long and different ones, you can justify it. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Amarita. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, so we're going to start by coloring with Olos. And again, if you are new to me, I have been coloring with Copic markers for well over 20 years. Well over. And I teach coloring with Copics, and I have since like 2003, a very, very long time. And we're not going to kind of get into our frustrations with Copics over the past couple years. I'll just say I have mostly Copic originals, which are the square barreled ones, and most of mine are almost 20 years old, and I have not had a problem. With that being said, I do recognize that some people are having problems. And I also recognize that OLO is a really great quality marker and it's a great price point. So if you don't have an alcohol-based marker, it's a great one to start with. So, plus I absolutely love Lori Craig, who works for OLO. So starting last year in August, anytime I teach with Copics, I am sharing a OLO comparison chart. So that's just teaching, like an actual class that you pay to do with me. This weekend, when I go to Firefly Farm in Minnesota, I'm actually teaching with OLOs for the very first time. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but it'll be okay. I almost want to like pack my Copics too, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I am not abandoning my Copics because I love them so much. I literally can color blindfolded almost, and pick colors blindfolded. I will not admit how long it took me to pick colors for my classes at Firefly Farm and fine blending and everything. But I do want to incorporate OLOs into my crafting, and I think it's fun to use both. They do work together. So if you're running into an issue with another brand of alcohol-based marker, whatever one that is, you can replace that color with a similar color from OLO, and you can still color with that other brand. So I don't think that you need to throw away any crafting supplies and buy all new crafting supplies. I will never, ever, ever tell you to do that. But if you're finding an issue with one marker, toss it and then replace it with an OLO that's comparable in color. That's what I've been recommending to people. The other thing I just want to quickly mention is I do have a Copic 101 online class. It's all about coloring with alcohol-based markers. I think it's great for any brand of alcohol-based markers. I do go over filling Copics and changing the nibs, so you can kind of fast forward during that part. But you get a workbook shipped to you with artwork that was illustrated by Angie Blom. And my hope is to make an addendum to that class talking all about OLOs. And anybody that has signed up for Copic 101 will get that for free. And if you haven't signed up, you can sign up to join us for the OLO part. So, okay. Yeah, Libby says, I say all the alcohol markers are fab, just color. Exactly. I agree. And Debbie says, I'm filling her a woohoo. I can never say that right. Markers for the first time. Wish me luck. Good luck. I've never colored with those, so I can't help you at all. Cannot help you at all. And Brienne says, I just love all things Jenn Cherkis, even when she calls me crazy. I do think you're crazy, Brienne, but I love you're crazy. I'm not normal. Okay. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. I'm going to actually start with the black on my penguins. And again, bear with me as I'm pulling markers because this is just so foreign to me. Yeah, so foreign to me. Okay, I don't even know like where to pull. I don't know where to pull, you guys. But we're going to start with this N9, and I just did a very, very, very thin line around the inner body of the outer part of the penguin. And I'm barely touching my marker because I don't want it to lay a lot of ink down. Again, I'm not used to having a large brush like this, so I'm probably being even more extra cautious. But anytime you're using a very, very dark color, definitely don't push hard because that's just going to release more ink. So I definitely would be cautious of that. I'm just doing a very, very thin line. Obviously, the outer part of penguins are black, but you don't want to color them all black, or I don't want to, because I want to be able to show dimension. So, but by doing a little bit of this really, really dark color, it'll help to build that dimension, okay? So yeah, so that's what we're doing there. OLO is going to be coming out with bullet nibs, and you best bet I'm going to be enjoying those for sure. When I first started coloring with Copics, the company that I used to teach for created, this is like pre-Lawn Fawn days for me, they were small images too. So I really loved having that bullet nib. And that is why I started with the Copic Originals. Now, I've swapped most of my broad tip on my Copic Originals to be a brush tip, but it's a smaller, to me, more manageable brush tip than that comes on the Sketch Copic. So I've just been really spoiled with a lot of control over the years. But I will be excited to have a bullet nib option with the OLOs. I think that's going to really help me become more comfortable. And especially as much as I live in Lawn Fawn land, as many of you guys know, it's just, I think, going to be easier to color these smaller images. Brienne says, I want Oahu markers just because it's fun to say. I don't even color that much. I don't know how to say it though, Brienne. Am I saying it right? Oahu? Oahu? Not sure. I'm going to stop because I think I sound silly. So I just used a second gray and just kind of deepen that shadow. And now I'm using a third lighter gray to blend and fill. I got a little bit on the penguin here. I'm going to fix that in a little bit, so I'm not seeing that. You don't have to scream at your screens telling me to fix it. I do see it. Let's see. Yes, I agree, Libby. OLO does have superior purples compared to Copic. I will 100% agree with that for sure. Definitely a better variety. And OLO is coming up with their own palette. So from my understanding, they're not trying to recreate what, you know what, I'm not even going to put my markers away because I don't remember how I had them flipped. So I'll put my markers away at the end. But they're not trying to recreate the Copic palette, which I think is great. They're doing their own thing. So when I do my Copic OLO comparisons for class, I'm really just doing the best that I can, whatever that is, right? It's all on interpretation. All right, let's see. Brienne and Libby are teaching me how to say it. Oh-woohoo. Or oh-hoo-hoo. 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 Okay. I like oh-woohoo better. Nora says, let me help Jenable everyone. Take all the Copic and Distress classes from Jen. Aw, thanks, Nora. I really appreciate that. All right, everybody says, oh, hoo-hoo. Oh, hoo-hoo. Oh, hoo-hoo. I'm probably not going to remember that, only because I don't color with them, so I'm not really saying it that often. Okay, so now to kind of match that plastic flamingo ink color that we're going to be using from Lawn Fawn, I went for these really bold RV colors. And so I'm just going to go around and add the shadow on all the things with this RV 1.5, and then we'll go back and start blending. Heather says, I just like that I can put two Olos that like to blend with the little connector piece, so I don't always have to remember which color combos I liked. Yeah, I think that's great. Although when they come out with bullet nibs, I'll have the same color on one marker, but I do think that's great. Diana, thank you. Here is what their page says. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Oh boy. Hoo-hoo. Oh my gosh. If any of you are new around here, I've probably already lost you. You've probably already carried on with your day, which is okay. Little did you know, I'm the worst at pronouncing things out loud, like names of people and stuff. Oh, it's like my nightmare. All right, so I'm just going in with this RV 1.5. Is my mic sounding okay, you guys? My chin is like really sitting on it. I can move it if it's not. I love this little sign. I use this sign on cards even when I'm not using the stamp set. It's so cute, and it has a lot of different things you can put in it, like free hugs. How sweet is that? North Pole. And this time I just did the 3 little hearts, but there's just a lot of different things, and I just think it's the sweetest. So I'm going to just do, it's going to be alternating pink and white. Or let's just be honest, pink and glittered, right? And let me know if you guys have questions as we're going along. I love chit-chatting with you, but if I miss a question, just putting that word question in your comment is helpful for me when I'm just looking up while coloring, okay? And then all my little lights, these are going to go around the doorway of the igloo. They are going to be this hot pink color, because why not? I think I've determined, obviously I love teal, that's no surprise, but very, very close second is I love a good hot pink. Love, love, love a good hot pink. All right, I'm going to do the whole handle of the bell and that little ringer in the inside of the bell. And then these little heart trios, this is actually the smoke that's going to come out of our chimney, which how cute is that? So we'll just add a little shadow to those. Let's see. Oh, Libby's telling me it's okay if I don't say it correctly because I say scallop wrong and we still love you. Those are some fighting words, Miss Libby, because I'm pretty sure that growing up in New England, means, I don't know what it means, but all of our history, I think I'm saying it right. I swear I'm saying it right. It's scallop. If Jennifer Engel's still here, I'm 100% sure she'll agree with me. She said, Jennifer Engel is still here. She said about the markers, at this point, it sounds like body parts. And Brienne says this is the best conversation we've had in a Gen Live. Maybe a live, but classes, we have a lot of good conversations in classes for sure. Thank you, Amarita, for actually letting me know if my mic sounded okay. Just wanted to make sure you guys weren't hearing like my chin hit against it. It's like hard to stick it on the collar of my pullover hoodies. But it's so chilly here. We've got glorious sunshine, but the sunshine is very deceiving. The sunshine is very deceiving. It's like lies. You see it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a beautiful day here in Massachusetts. And then you go outside and it's freezing. So not impressed, spring, not impressed. Thank you, Barbara. Nice to see you. Diana says, I think teal is the favorite of a lot of content creators. I would agree. The store I used to manage over 14 years ago, the store color was teal. And so I really fell in love with it then. Actually, in high school and growing up as a kid, my favorite color was purple, believe it or not. And then I just kind of went crazy with teal. And then when I started doing stuff with Lawn Fawn, it just worked out that they're a lover of teal as well. So, uh-oh. Oh no, Jennifer Engel. She goes, I may have lost my accent when it comes to scallop. I think if I wasn't thinking about it, it might come out scallop. Oh, she goes, but I don't judge. I do judge. I do judge. Jennifer Engel's here in Massachusetts with me. So she says the sky is lying as well. It's a glorious, glorious blue, but it is not warm. Not warm. All right. I love this hot pink. I mean, who wouldn't want to get this hot pink color in their mailbox? If they are in a climate that actually experiences winter, I would love this. That's one thing I do like to do is a lot of really bright holiday cards. I think because I'm just doing what I wish I would get in the mail, right? If it's December and dreary and yucky, bring on the bright colors, bring on the rainbows. Anything to help me get by through those winter months. All right. Super cute little bulbs, light bulbs. So I'm just going image by image and using that medium hot pink, which is the RV 1.3, doing a little bit more color. And then I'm using my lightest RV 1.2. You'll see on the color chart, whenever I color with any alcohol-based markers on my blog, I always share a swatch chart. So no matter what brand or what medium you're using, you could look at that and do something comparable if you're trying to recreate a card that I shared. But so I do have that RV 1.1 on there. That's for when we get into the little sign. I wanted that to be a little bit lighter since we had those hearts on there. Sandy says Minnesota is not looking warm to me. She's going to Firefly Farm too, so I'll get to see her. She's going from Texas. They're all either lying to us, Sandy, or telling us that it's supposed to be in the 70s later this week there. So, let's see. Oh, wow. Diana says that they had a drive-in that used to use pink and teal as their colors with that large black and white checkered floor. I bet that looked really cool. Brenda says it's cold in Michigan. Oh, I'm not even sure what temperature it is now. We might have hit 50 now, but it was chilly this morning. Okay, so now we're going to do just the little sign where those 3 hearts are. And I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I know I used that RV. Oh, maybe I used the RV. No, I didn't use that for rosy cheeks. Let's see. See, this is me not knowing what I'm doing because I don't color with these a lot. Well, I definitely didn't use that. No, maybe I did actually. No, I think, and I do this a lot, even if I wasn't live, and honestly, even sometimes with Copics, I'll do it just to figure out what works. So I'll do a little bit of this RV 1.3. I'll just kind of do that thin line like we did on the penguins. Okay. All right, Melissa's telling me the 50s and 60s this weekend. I can deal with that. I am a New England girl. But didn't you guys just get snow this weekend, Melissa? I don't want that. So RV 1.2, I actually think I'm going to bring it further up to those hearts. And then we'll just finish it off with this RV 1.1. So this weekend, I was part of a really, really fun online event with Pink and Maine. It was their birthday bash event. And I was so excited. I was one of the teachers. But I watercolored. I actually watercolored with the Pink and Maine Twinkle inks, which is so fun. I'm sure I'll end up doing that on a live at some point. And Caitlin colored with OLOs during her class, and she did these really deep RVs. I don't know if it was the exact ones I pulled. She did really deep RVs and really deep purples. And she explained it so beautifully because it's really, really hard to blend the RVs, I think, and the purples. It can be really, really hard. It's so funny. I'm looking at what I used, and it says that I used 4 colors for their rosy cheeks. Man, I was being extra, huh? I was definitely being extra. Well, I guess I'll do it. Why not, right? Why not? All right. So I'm going to use a bunch of R's to rosy their cheeks. And so I'm going to start with this R 0.4. And I'm only going to do a little bit of it because we are doing 4 colors. And before we know it, their cheeks are going to be monstrous. But we definitely want rosy cheeks when it's winter. We definitely need rosy cheeks. So I'm going to take my next color and I'm just gently dabbing, making it a little bit bigger. Okay, dabbing it around in a circle. Looks a little scary at first when you do this, but we're going to soften it out. Take the third color. Again, you probably could have just used 2 or 3 colors for this. I would say 3, honestly, but I was being extra. And so I'm dabbing this third color around all of it, and it'll help lighten the first 2 colors as well. And also, once we're done and the marker rests a little bit, it'll be even less scary. Okay. I'm going to let it rest a minute. I might go in and add a little bit of the 0 on the edges, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So let's go ahead and do their feet and their nose. And for that, I just used the OR 1.3. Real simple. I didn't do any blending for this. Okay. Yeah. Brenda says it's that time of year. You need your winter coat in the morning and your shorts in the afternoon. So true. Val wants us all to send our cold weather to Arizona. It's all yours. Yeah, and Linda says that the event this weekend was amazing. Yay. Or fun with an amazing kit. And Barbara says that event was so much fun and relaxed. And I watercolored successfully. I'm so proud of myself. Yay. I know I need to go back to the group and see what everybody's been posting. I didn't get a chance to do that just yet. All right, I'm going to still let those cheeks rest, but let's go ahead and work on our little igloo. So I'm going to grab BG 1.4, 1.2, and 1.0. So I'm going to take the 1.4, and I actually only used this on the door and the chimney because I wanted those to just be a bit darker. So I'm just kind of lining one side or two sides of each of the bricks. And then on the door, I'm just kind of lining either side of these planks. Sometimes I color this door as wood, and sometimes I pretend it is actually made out of ice. It can be whatever we want, right? Yeah, Libby did such a great job organizing the Pink and Main event. And then Michelle, the owner of Pink and Main, came up with such an amazing kit for the event. It was great. It was awesome. Super fun to be part of it. All right. So I just blended out with the BG 1.2, and now I'm just finishing it off with this 1.0. And really, I'm just coloring over the whole thing because it won't affect too much what we've done so far. And then for the igloo part, I'm going to just not use that 1.4, but I'm going to use the 1.2, and I just kind of go around and create some shadow lines. I don't like to trace all of the lines. I'm kind of just picking and choosing, right? And then you don't have to be perfect with this either. But then I'll take that lighter color, that 1.0, and just kind of swoosh it out. And that's just going to soften the line. You could even then go in with a blender with the 0 after, but I think once this dries down, it's going to look great. Remember, no matter what alcohol-based markers you're using, when you're using these lighter colors, it's going to kind of look, I can't think of another word besides trashy. It's not going to look great when your alcohol is still wet. But once it dries down, it's going to look really, really nice. Let's see. Jennifer says, I do one color for rosy cheeks because I'm lazy. I used to as well, but I was getting bored of just doing one color. So I've kind of been stepping up my my rosy cheek game a little bit. But, you know, even in classes with me, you can skip what I'm doing and do whatever you want. So I'm going to just take this 0 marker, which is the blender. I don't know if they call it the blender, actually. It's what Copic calls it, which I think is super deceiving because I don't think it blends. It really takes color away. But I'm just gently dabbing on the edges just to kind of wash those cheek edges out. I'm just kidding. I was just going to try to fix that little line with that, and I don't want to do it because it's never successful when you try to do that. So I'm just going to use my white gel pen and color over it. I don't know. I was going crazy for a second there, thinking it would work, but in that case, all alcohol markers work the same. All right. Yay. Oh, yay. Hi, Robin. How are you? She said the event was fantastic and my watercoloring came out great. Thanks for the tips. Awesome. Robin was at my in-person event in March, and she purchased, I had 12 by 12 paper trays with a beautiful base, and I finally let it go. I let it go because I just don't do a lot with 12 by 12 paper anymore, and I didn't have space for it. So she purchased that for me, and I'm happy it went to a good home. Yeah, color pusher, which I was not going to push on the side of his face. Yeah, it does give the igloo a lot of dimension for sure. All right, so we got all that colored. Whew. All right, I got through the OLO part, you guys. I was really nervous when you've colored with the same stuff for so long. It gets nerve-wracking, especially when you're live. All right, so I have a piece of Distress White Heavy Stock, not to be confused with Distress Watercolor cardstock. This is Distress White Heavy Stock. It's a really, really nice smooth white paper, and it's 130 pound. It's a really nice weight, and it's the only thing that I love to ink blend on. So if you ever see me post a card where I'm ink blending, it's using this paper. So we're going to go ahead and start with Merman, the best teal ink pad in all of the land. And when you're doing a larger background where you're wanting to cover your whole background, I really do think it makes a big difference to have a larger blending brush head. So I love these from Honeybee Stamps for doing backgrounds. It comes in a 2-pack. And you can see the one I'm going to use, the one on the left, is so much larger than this one on the right. Now, I love this one. I obviously use it, but not when I'm doing large backgrounds. This is going to help me get a much smoother blend. Okay. So I'm working on my tabletop, which is made out of glass. My whole tabletop is made out of glass. I'm going to ink up my blending brush. Of course, I've got my ink pad in the ink stand so it doesn't hop, skip, and a jump all over my table. And I am going to then tap off some of the ink. And I actually strategically will tap it where I'm going to be swooping, right? So I just tapped it right here. And I'm actually blending my table. I'm not just making this motion in the air to show you. I'm actually blending my table, and I'm going to bring my brush into the paper. And the thing about ink blending, oh my gosh, I think I might have just spit a little bit. The thing about ink blending is, I'm going to flip this over. I think I accidentally spittled a little bit. No, I feel like there's something on my paper. All right, I'm getting a new panel. If I thought I was going to cover it up, I would have been fine, but I'm not. So hold please. I'm going to get another sheet of Distress White Heavy Stock. But what I was going to say, what was I going to say? Oh, the thing about ink blending is you want to start really light-handed with your blending brush because it's a process, right? It's not like a one and done. It's a process. So you want to build up your layers to get to the color that you want. You don't want to go hard and heavy at first because it's just going to kind of not look smooth. All right. Okay. Let's see. My husband called the base a monstrosity, but then loved how it looks in my craft room. Oh, good. Good. I love it. It's actually, it's big, but it's not too heavy or anything. All right. So again, blending the table, bringing the ink in, trying not to spit on my panel as I'm talking to you guys. Oh, how embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Now, the thing that I did is I'm only going to bring this teal down so far, and I'm going to bring the pink up from the bottom, but I actually left a buffer. I know you don't see it very well, but I left a buffer of white purposely. I kind of just didn't want it to I didn't want the two colors to mingle on this card specifically. So I'm just going to do a soft dusting down here, and I can pick up more ink off my table instead of going back into that ink pad. Just doing a soft little buffer here. Okay. Everybody's quiet all of a sudden. I probably made everybody leave because I told them I accidentally spit on my background. Oh boy. So this is just some isopropyl alcohol in a mini mister and my very, very loved flour sackcloth. I think these are out of stock right now too, but Josie's going to be down next week during her school break to work with me, get those crafty gear orders out. And I'm pretty sure she's bringing flour sackcloths because she makes those for me. So those will be restocked too. Oh my gosh, is YouTube buffering again? I hope not. I don't know why that's happening. It's been happening to everybody the past couple days. All right, so now we are going to do plastic flamingo. And I'm actually going to use my red blending brush, not my pink one. Because let's be honest, how often do I really blend red? But I do just want to make sure there's not a lot of red in this brush. So I just roughly massage it into my flour sackcloth, and it takes away any of that extra ink that's in my brush. I am just peeking at YouTube out of my, I have the window up so I can make sure that I'm still live. And I don't see it buffering, so hopefully we're okay. Oh, good. It was like, what? You said buffer? Okay, let's do that. All right, so plastic flamingo is a very, very bright color, and it's not an ink pad I use a lot like I do merman. So there's definitely a lot, it's a juicier ink pad. So be aware of that as well when you're going into the ink. Always tap off, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in with a gentle hand, knowing I can always build up the layers. And I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go all the way to merman. So I'm actually like kind of leaving a dusted white stripe was kind of my thought process. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. And you can see I'm swooping my brush into all of that ink I left on my glass table. So ink blending on a non-porous surface is super helpful. Because you can utilize all that ink that drops away. Okay, I do want this to get a bit brighter. Awesome, thank you guys. It buffered for a few people this weekend during the Pink and Main event, me being one of them. Ugh. And Chris has zhuzhed up our internet so much here, basically to the max that the average consumer can do. And he's really good. He shuts everything off when I'm live, so we don't have any, anything going on the network. See how cool that looks? And I see I have a little spot here, but we're going to cover that up with our scene. All right, so I'm going to clean off my table again. Get all that pink ink gone. And then what I did is I die cut this panel out of the largest outside in stitched rectangle from Lawn Fawn. And it's going to give that really nice stitching, nice little white border. And I also just like that it cleans up any of those edges that maybe caught a little bit heavier ink than we wanted. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut this off screen with my Spellbinders Platinum 6. I don't know if any of us are as cool as Kathy with a die cut cam, but I will tell you, if Mr. Harley was still alive in my new studio here in our new home, I definitely would have had a cat cam. But he lucked out before we were renting, so I couldn't do a lot of that stuff. Oh boy, Brienne had to move to her laptop because her phone was acting up. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you all know that Brienne is the linking ninja. She's so amazing at it. But what you might not know is she does it all from her freaking phone. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. It's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. So cute. I love these colors together. All right. So what we're going to do now is I am going to die cut some snowflakes. Okay. And so what this is I ink blended some more Distress White Heavy Stock with Merman. That's just what this is. And I was like, well, I don't need to show them that. I'm just going to keep this piece and die cut snowflakes from it, right? We don't need to recreate that. So it looks like out of teal, because I cut way more than I ended up using as I was figuring out my card design. So I'm just going to pull the ones I need. And then this is Pixie Dust Sparkle cardstock from Lawn Fawn. Definitely, oh, I see I am buffering. Let's see.